Who likes Broncos? I do, Felix does. We've got our 1977 Bronco here, original build sheet window sticker Protecto plate. This is an original piece. I think it needs some flair, so what we're gonna do is do a Bronco Graveyard 2.5-inch lift, a set of polished wheels with 31-inch Mickey Thompson tires, brand new brake components, suspension components, the list goes on. We're gonna document this through time lapse with Jimmy up in Jupiter, and then we're gonna put the final video together and let you guys decide if you wanna put this in your garage. If you enjoy this type of content, you better click like below. Let's do it.
'77 Bronco, unrestored original truck. Thing's nice. It's got a 302 automatic. We're doing a 2.5-inch lift. We clean up the engine compartment. New wheels and tires. These wheels are amazing. We got all the parts for the suspension kit, new brake lines. We got some new parts for the lights. Just do a little cleanup on it. So normally I would be using my lift to do this job, but it is occupied. So I kind of put this on a little angle. Should have plenty of room to get around it. We got the truck up in the air. Safety first with the jacks. This suspension travel is pretty long, so we had to use some 4x4s. Get the wheels and tires off. We'll start disassembling it. And we got my boy Justo helping us. What's up? All right, so we have all the hardware. I heated up and loosened everything up all the way around, all 4 sides. Got the U-bolts done, got the shackles apart. We already got the shocks off, both sides finished over here. The front, we got the shocks off. Had to heat these all up, and we got these 4 bolts that sandwich this isolator in there, I guess what we call it. And then we're going to well, I'm going to start with the back and then do the front second, but I'm kind of just showing you where we're at here. It's a nice truck, 77 Bronco, seems to be unrestored. We're going to get after it and get this thing lifted up a little bit. So now that the axle is or the rear end is off the springs, now there's no weight on these. They'll come off a little easier. Again, I already loosened all this stuff, so it should just be a quick pop. A little bit of heat. And the same thing with this lower shackle, because you can't push the bolt through to get the spring out. Alright, so now we officially have everything loose. This bolt didn't want to come out. Been in there since 1977. But a little bit of heat, a little persuasion. That's out. That's completely loose. I was going to clean everything up a little bit, but this truck's, you know, it's very good shape. You know, if I start cleaning that, then it ends up cleaning the whole frame, and then it turns into a restoration, which that's not what we're here for. We're just here to do a little facelift. So here's the old original spring, and this is what we're putting in. We'll clean that up a little bit. Frame's very solid in this truck, it's in good shape. All right, right here is it's like a rear shackle arm, and this came from the old leaf spring, and obviously this is going to be new. that's not gonna fly. We are gonna change those. All right, so we pulled the old bushing out. Came out okay, but we're definitely replacing it. Now while the shackle's out, we're gonna wire wheel it up a little bit and throw some paint on it. We are gonna clean these up a little bit since we're gonna have new springs in there. Cleaned it up, put a little degreaser on there, we'll throw some paint. All right, so we're gonna be reusing these U-bolt plates, leaf spring plates. They're in good shape, they just need to be scuffed up a little bit. We're gonna shoot some paint on them, so I'm gonna wire wheel them real quick. All right, and now we're gonna spray some degreaser on it, dry them up, prime and paint them. So the new U-bolts are a little bit bigger. This is just shy of a 1/2 inch hole, so the new bolts are 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to ream them a little bit. So you only need to make a little bit bigger. So. All right, we gotta see if they fit. We're using the old shackle. I cleaned it up, painted it, got new bushings in it. Had the all squeezed in. So what you gotta do is, so you got to put this shackle on the spring first because this bolt won't go through. Alright, so that's on. Probably have to lower this rear end a little bit. Alright, so I got the front part of the leaf spring in place. And now I got the shackle bolt in up top because you can't get to it unless you put it in first. So that's done. Just got to pound this down like 1 inch. We get the bolt through here. Then we got to do the same thing on the other side. And then bolt everything up. So the leaf springs are in on both sides. Shackles, they're not tight, but they're in. This is the plate to hold your U-bolts. U-bolts are next. We're gonna put those in. We're gonna leave everything loose, hanging. That way when we tighten it, it's all gonna go together how it should. And you can see over there, the other spring's on. So now next is we're gonna put the new U-bolts in. You gotta make sure there's a dowel pin. This is the perch that the leaf spring sits on. And I'm hoping you can see this in here, but there's a little pin that goes inside the leaf. And that's what makes everything stay centered, and that's how everything stays centered. We're reusing the original plate, so I had to oval out the hose a little bit for the fit. All right, so now we're gonna put the shock in place. This is how the rear shocks come. Pretty much got to put them together, no big deal. Pretty simple, you just pop this through, give it a little whack. All right, so now we're gonna assemble, or we already assembled it. I'm gonna put the shock in. All right, so now I'm gonna torque these U-bolts down. This is pretty cool because it has a torque spec right on here on a sticker. So these are 1/2 inch bolts, so it's saying 66 to 84. I'll start off with 50. So this side's done. All right, we're back on the Bronco today. The rear suspension's complete. The wheel and tire, they do clear. So now what I'm working on is I broke all these bolts loose already. This sandwiches together. We're gonna put all new rubber in the front as well. So I'm gonna finish loosening both sides, drop it. We're gonna put a new spring in. We're gonna put new bushings in, and we're gonna do a new shock. Sometimes sometimes these bushings come out easy, sometimes they don't. Hopefully this one comes out easy. Oh yeah, hear that crunch? It's all rust inside there. You see right here all the rust starting to come out. Just like that. And then we're going to clean these up because this is obviously all rusted right here. So we decided to clean this up a little bit because just took the front caliper off. This caliper is good. We're replacing the other side, but we're gonna clean this up a little bit and throw some paint on there. Alright, so we got the front all painted on this 77 Bronco. We're going to be installing the, putting the suspension back in the truck. I power washed it all and I scuffed it, and yeah, we got it all nice, fresh paint on here. We're gonna put the bushings in, we're gonna put the bar back in, get the new springs in, new shocks, and this thing should be sitting on the ground later today. So these are all original parts except for the bushings, obviously. Grinded it, cleaned it up, primed it, painted it. So these parts are going back on. Installing the new radius arm, got the new bushing, all the new old hardware we're reusing, painted. Sometimes these are a pain to put in, but let's hope this one's not. You also need to make sure you put these bushings in the right place. They'll say rear bottom and then front bottom. I got that. So these also have like a ridge inside, and they kind of go into place where they need to go. I'll also end up torquing them at the end, even though they're tight. But so now they're in, and then you want this to be flush because you got to put that spring cap right there. So the spring sits in there. All done, complete. I'm gonna tighten that more, but that's it. All right, so here we're putting, we got a brand new caliper because the old one was locked up. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna put we got new pads, some new hardware, kind of show you what we're doing here. Put your inner pad, and then you put your anti-rattle, it goes on the bottom. This is what, so it doesn't rattle when it's not under pressure. I always throw a little anti-seize on this, or some brake grease, one or two. Just like that. So that's in, and this front pad clicks in. And also, I have new lines coming, but for right now, we're going to use this old one. But you sit this in like this. This comes out, so that slides in like that, and then you take these, and this is what secures these keys. This puts pressure down, and you just kind of sneak it in here like that. So this is what locks in, just like that. Again, I'm going to hook this up, but not yet. Alright, so we got the caliper installed, everything looks good. Next we're gonna do is, I think I told you before, we're replacing this line, but it's not here yet. But we're also gonna replace, since the suspension is, further, there's a lot of pressure on this brake hose here. So the kit gives you an extension, which is right here. So we're going to install this we're gonna replace that right there, and that goes up, and it shouldn't be too bad. It goes right in between, right off the frame rail. All right, so we're finishing up the front end on this truck. I'm vacuuming all the brake fluid out. The brake fluid in this truck's real gross. This is the old center brake line. Connects the top to the tube going each side. I got that put on right there. Ran into a little issue where this is frozen on there, but that's what you deal with working with older stuff. So I'm gonna try to fix that. If not, I'll just make another line, no big deal. This vacuum pump's amazing for if you do brakes by yourself a lot. It's great for, this is just a Harbor Freight one, nothing crazy, but it's great to do your own brakes. And also, you can see how nasty that is in there, but it's all sludge on the bottom if you look at that. So we're going to clean that up and flush this system, and then go from there. Alright, so we got the brake system all cleaned up. I blew these lines out. I sucked, took these off, sucked the fluid through, brake cleaner. We're going to put some fresh fluid in, and then I'm going to pull some fluid through the whole system again, and then we should have some brakes. All right, so today we're doing the little tune-up on the engine here. Right now I'm going to do a new cap, new rotor, new plugs, new wires. All right, so when you're swapping the wires, you want to make sure you put them back in the right spot, because all engines are, they have firing orders. We'll say 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, whatever it is. Every engine's different. Luckily, there is on the cap here is a Motorcraft cap, just like what the original is. There's a 1 right here, just like there's a 1 right there. So this would be right here is plug 1. So you do plug 1 to here. But what I'm actually going to do is we're running new plugs on this and wires, and they are different lengths. Pretty much what you do is you take the old wire off. I go 1 by 1 because that way you don't screw it up. Alright, and you kind of see right here. Alright, this looks like the closest one. I went just lengthwise, it's pretty much the same. So what we're going to do is get rid of this one, and you just want to run it just like the other one that came out. And then we're going to go, as you can see, 1, 1. This is plug 1. There you go. Okay, so that's that. So now the next thing is spark plugs. And also, you want to make sure the gap on all your plugs are the same. You kind of want to look up the specs to see what the motor takes, but you want the gap to be right here. I got a gap tool, make sure these are all the same. What you do is you kind of just tap this electrode down a little bit. You can adjust it like this to make it wide more. We're going to go one side at a time. Old plug, new plug. Let's see what this one's gapped at. About 0.40. Depending on how this thing sounds when we're done, I might talk Jonathan into a little bit of a louder muffler, because I have a bunch of them here. Who doesn't like a loud 4x4, So far, took 2 plugs out of the truck, and they're both set at different gaps. Got to pay attention to this stuff if you want your truck to perform how it should. Alright, if you didn't see, again, I'm at the 0.35. It just slides through. Alright, so you saw me do 2 of them. It pretty much goes like that all the way around. You gotta do the same thing 6 more times. Alright, so we just got done with the plugs, wires, everything's in tight, cap rotor done. We're gonna do this fuel filter next. And obviously I'm gonna change the oil and all that stuff. Show you how to do this fuel filter. It's gonna make gas, and no matter what you're gonna spill, so you might as well put a rag under there to keep it clean. It's pretty simple. You're gonna remove, you could just do the one, but we're gonna replace this hose too, I think. Turn like that. So the new filter's not identical, but it's close. Give it a couple turns, and boom. And then we're gonna do the new hose. So I got the fuel pump issue. It came off the trailer, drove in here, and I don't know what's going on, but thought I was out of gas. It wasn't. And the vacuum sucked gas to the pump, through the pump, and it won't keep on. So it starts right up when you put some gas in the carb. Sounds like it runs pretty good, but we need a fuel pump. So I ordered one of those. It won't be here until tomorrow morning, which works out fine because I got to pick up the front brake hoses, and the battery's junk. So we got to get a battery, fuel pump, brake hoses, and then we can take this thing on a test drive. But for now, what I'm going to do is see how cracked up this plastic is. We're going to change that out. All right, so we got the Bronco back up in the air. Front end's all done, just needs an alignment. Parking brake extenders just came in. I'm gonna pull the drums off. I already had the other side off for another issue, but that's all done. But yeah, so we're gonna be changing this cable right here. Nice. Shoes are in good shape. Springs are good. So we ran new parking brake cable extenders because of the lift kit. I added some rubber around it just because we don't want anything to screw up. So that's got enough rubber here. I guess it hits, comes through this loop. We did rubber, and again rubber over there, so we're safe. So next step is we are going to put the rear brake line. We have a new one that's a little bit longer right here. So we're gonna do that next, and hopefully it breaks loose easy because this truck is older than me. So broke this loose. Luckily it came loose. A lot of times it gets stuck here and you end up having to put a new line on, but this one broke loose. And you're gonna want to clean these threads up a little too. You just don't want to get any dirt in the new one. All right, so try not to get any crud down in the axle too, because this is a breather for the axle. Put some brake clean on a rag. I'm gonna wipe down away from stuff. All right, so I got the Bronco on the lift. Most of the job is done. Got a few things to finish. Obviously, I painted this, new bushings, new suspension. Now back here, you can see we got our new parking brake cables. Added these so it doesn't fray. Got the rear brake line. So next thing we're doing is, you see we got a little oil leak. Oh, that's you, I'm sorry. There's your oil leak. And then we got the transpan, which is seeping. You can see right here. I've already spent some time power washing this truck a couple times, but I got on the lift now, so I'm gonna focus right here. You can see I got this pretty clean, but you can't get everything. So I'm gonna power wash all that, power wash this. You can see we got a new brake line here. Brake line's outer. there. So we've done quite a bit of work to this truck, but we're almost done. All right, I'm getting ready to move this pan. This is your dipstick tube. We're gonna take this off, pull out of the way. We're gonna take all these 1/2-inch bolts out, drop it, pull the gasket, clean everything, inspect it, put it back. Nice and snug. We're gonna torque it now so everything's the same. So this truck, the dipstick tube is leaking. I got it clean right now, but I need to inspect why this is leaking. So we're gonna pull that off next. So we're also gonna change oil in this thing, because why not? It's a full tune-up. So I ordered these fuel lines a week and a half ago, and they finally showed up. So everything else is done on the Bronco, and I was going to take it to the alignment shop, but the alignment shop said, hey, don't come today, come Monday. So I am going to put this back up in the air, and we're going to swap out the fuel line because it's got a pinhole in it, which is causing the fuel pump to suck air. All right, so I'm just showing you the fuel line here. So it starts, this goes into the tank right here, this rubber. So we're gonna pull it out here, and it comes back, there it goes. It's a 3-piece, so the first piece goes to this line, and the second piece starts here, and it's gonna come to the front up here. This is where we had a leak, and I had a patch just so we could, test drive and things. But again, what happened is there's a pinhole here, and the old brake hose was rubbing line to line. So even after I change this line, I'm gonna put this rubber back on because we don't want it to be, rubbing and causing. But again, I'm gonna need to put a rubber against this too because it's gonna hit the frame. So we gotta fix that. All right, so back line's in, I already showed you that. The front line was definitely more of a pain to get out, and I ended up having to break it. Wouldn't come through. But so the new style line is a little bit different. This is a single piece that goes into a 90-degree rubber that goes into the fuel pump. Well, the new piece, because of the way it goes up and over, it's a 2-piece. So I might actually, well, here's the new one. We're gonna see how that works, because I might actually end up using the old line from here back. And now we're gonna put the new line in. And hopefully it goes in better than the old one came out. All right, so now you can see the fuel line starts back there. And we got the new fuel lines. The next one. Got it ran nice and neat. Put the rubber there so it doesn't hit the frame. Now we got this all out of the way, and nothing's touching, nothing's hitting. We're good. All right, 77 Bronco is officially finished. Needs to get a line, but we're gonna take that down the ladder to get that done. Running nice and smooth. Fresh oil, filter, fuel filter, plugs, wires, cap, rotor, fuel filter, I said fuel filter, fuel lines, brake pads, caliper, trans pan gasket, dipstick O-ring, A few other things. Cleaned up a little bit of stuff in here. Decided not to really paint anything. Patina is better than just having it sprayed. Yeah, so we're gonna go take this thing for another test drive. It's done.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan from Bullet Motorsports. Right behind me, we have a beautiful 1977 Ford Bronco. That's the last year of production for this body style. Very well done. So we did a 2.5-inch lift, brand new wheels and tires, and a complete service. So this is powered by a 302 with a Cruise-O-Matic automatic transmission, and it does have a hard top. If you guys want to find out full details on this ride, click on the link below. Right now, we're going to give you guys a walk around and a comprehensive test drive. Let's do it. Overall condition, I would rate this one a 7 out of 10. That's a 70% out of 100. I know you're looking at it going, it looks way better than that, but this is an original piece. It's had one repaint, and then what we did here is we found this in Indianapolis. We brought it back home, and we sent it to our partners, Coastal Classics. They do a lot of restoration work for us, and they're also building our XTF platform, which we're going to show you guys later on in the channel. We sent it over. We did a 2.5-inch lift. We replaced a lot of suspension components. We upgraded the brake calipers in the front, brand new fuel lines, brand new fuel pump. We fixed, there were oil leaks. We fixed all the oil leaks, so it's dry underneath there. That's how it's been. It's been on this turntable for about 3 days because of our 4th of July vacation. But I chose this one because it was nice and original. It had the window sticker in the build sheet along with the warranty card still in place. We still have the original purchase documents, that's huge for something like this. Interior is original. Once again, one repaint. So when I did the mills on the vehicle itself, we had like 5 on the door, 11 on the quarter, but it's all nice and solid. Underneath it does have surface rust. You're going to see that in the gallery. So if you click on the link below, you'll see every little detail of this truck. The reason we do that is so you guys get an honest representation of a vehicle like this, so you know exactly what you're getting. In regards to drivability, it's been dialed in. We had an alignment done. We went through the suspension. All of the suspension was replaced essentially, so it drives as it should, just a little bit higher. Let's spin it around so you can see the rear. One thing I didn't talk about is the body line. So the body lines are very nice and straight. There's no dimples, and the Wimbledon white is very, very clean. Look at how beautiful the rear of this Bronco is. You have the Ford insignia right here. Tailgate's very nice, so that folds down, and then you have an opening hatch for your hard top. It opens up and then it latches in place. Interior is original and it shows very well. You still have your original mat on the floor too. What I noticed is this has just under 41,000 miles, and I believe the mileage to be true based on the engine. So when you look at the engine, which we're going to do shortly, it still has the stampings in place, and it had a lot of original parts that we had to replace to get it to run. Underneath, very nice. You can see those meaty tires. Those are Mickey Thompson tires. To open up the tailgate, goes down. Minor wear in here, and once again, the rubber mat is still original. Shows well. Seat is bolted on nicely. It comes off easily with wing nuts in case you want to use this as a storage area. Let's close it and spin it around. Passenger side is the same as the driver's side in regards to condition. Body lines are even. You have your Bronco insignia right here, which is an original piece. Mirrors are proper. Your front glass shows very well. And the hood lineup is within spec for a 1977 Bronco. As you look at the wheel and tire combo, so we have the Keystone style wheels with Mickey Thompson MTZ tires, so it's a nice meaty tire because this is 4x4. So it's an automatic with 4 low and 4 high with a locking front differential or axle. Door edges are very nice. Doors open and close nicely. Rubbers are original. And the best part, this is not a cut rear fender truck. So a lot of guys will cut it to clear bigger tires. This has not been cut. That's why I actually bought it. Let's show you the front end and we'll pop the hood. Taking a look at the front end, it's extremely beautiful. The only thing I can kind of point out in regards to imperfections, the repaint on the bumper, some of it's flaking on the corner here along with over there. So you see the original Wimbledon white underneath. Headlights work, your side markers work, your tail lights work. We checked all that out. Underneath is very clean. Differential's been cleaned up. When we did the suspension, we cleaned up the front end so it would look presentable. In the inner fender wells, it looks great too. Let me pop the hood. That's the good stuff here. So you have a dual latch. You can see the small block power plant. We replaced the ignition, spark plugs, and just did a once over, brand new battery. You still have the original radiator in place, and when you look at the engine, you're going to see that their stampings are still present on the valve cover along with the sticker. So if this had higher mileage, I think that'd be worn out. You still have your Motorcraft filter here. And then in regards to the brakes, I believe Jimmy from Coastal Classics went through the calipers and checked the rear pads as well. So it brakes as it should, e-brake works. Let's close this hood and go inside. Let's take a look at the interior. First thing I'm gonna look at are the door cards and the inner sills. Inner sills are nice and solid. You have a clean door card, which is all metal with a service area, which is an off-white. Your door handles are showing the proper amount of age for the mileage, so 41,000 miles. This does have the optional parchment top up here, and then you have your motor for your windshield wipers behind this plastic, which is original. Your visors are operating as they should. The steering wheel is very nice with a minor crack on this edge right here. Horn works. Dash operates as it should. The seats are original and they show very well. When I get inside, very comfortable. Steering's not loose. You have a dual tank set up right here, so you have 2 fuel tanks in this one. Dash has patina, so I liked how it had markings on the ashtray, etc. It does have an optional cigarette lighter, or cigar lighter is what they call it. Your glove box is very clean with the VIN number, or the build number right here. You have ventilation right there, and then the best part is when you want to start it up. So can you grab me the keys? Oh, I didn't talk about the back either. So the rear section looks good. You can fit 2 people back here. There are no seatbelts for the rear, but you have seatbelts for the front, and they are original and very nice condition. Let me get the keys. Let's start it up real quick, and then we'll take it for a test drive. But overall condition, original with just a lift kit and tires. We went through it mechanically, so you guys know what you're getting. Lights operate inside, they're illuminated, and it starts up nicely. That's 3 days of sitting. Let's go for a run. Also, the dual fuel tank operates, so it doesn't die when you flip it. I love this thing. Let's go get a cigar. Before we go for a test drive, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoy this content, please be sure to click like and subscribe below. That allows us to give you guys more creative content, more cameras are purchased, etc. Also, if you want to support us, we do have merchandise. I have my BMS trucker hat right here. It's dirty because we work here, so this is from me running into a tire. If you guys want to support us, click on the link below. It's got our Shopify. We have tons of new hats in stock. Let's go for a test drive. All right, let's start it up. That's a warm start. Our temperature gauge is at 170. Fuel gauge is working, half a tank. Oil pressure is at 45, and our voltage is charging. We have 40,849 miles on the odometer. Putting it in gear, there's no banging. Ooh, it's a little bit peppy. It's got a 302, or no, it's a 289. Steering wheel is off, but the alignment is on, so I'm gonna have them take a look at the steering wheel to make sure we can get it straight. Horn works, going over some bumps right now. Feels good. The noise you're hearing is just the rear glass because it's just a fold in place piece. Let's test out the brakes. Brakes work as they should. Plenty of pep. Turn signal is working. So you have 2 gas tanks, you can flip the switch. Lights are operating. This thing drives great. We're gonna take it to the grassy area. I'll show the 4-wheel drive working, then you guys can decide if you want to put this in your garage. Runs down the road nicely. Once again, the steering wheel is just off, but the alignment is on. Temperature has not budged. It's exactly at now it's at 180, no issues at all. Slowing down, it's not pulling from left to right. If you guys have any questions, you can call us, 954-363-2261. If you see something that we missed in the video, you're more than welcome to reach out. Also, if you're hearing that airplane right now, we are 5 minutes from the Fort Lauderdale Airport, so if you want to fly in to take a look at it or send an inspector, we're open for that too. No rubbing. No funny sounds from the diff. Shifts properly. We're going probably 45 miles an hour right now with no issues. Yeah, 45. So high-speed brake test right now. No issues. We'll put it in the grass here, and we'll test out the four-wheel drive for you. First thing I'm going to do is test out see if we have two lines. So that was one wheel peel. All right, so this is two-wheel drive acceleration in the grass. Oh, that works. Let me turn around, we'll put it in 4 low and show you that it actually works. All right, so we're gonna put it in neutral. We're gonna put it into the 4 high position, and then we'll put the axle on. All right. Now when we accelerate, we shouldn't have that much wheel spin because everything is working here. I'm gonna put it in drive. Ready? Oh yeah, full drive's working. Big difference. No spinning of the tires. This thing's awesome. Let's put it into neutral and put it into the high position. You can shift on the fly, I didn't know that. Let's pick up Felix. Once again, hopefully you enjoyed this test drive. Have a great day.